Hey world. So, it's your girl Gabrielle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Something I want to share with you on my Gabrielle Talks is that one thing I've come to learn in life from God, because I love being love, LOVE. So I choose to be and remain love no matter what happens in this world, no matter what certain adults choose to do against love. One thing I've learned is that I encourage you to consider whatever your belief is in your life concerning God or whatever you're into, never get offended because someone else doesn't believe what you believe or they're not into what you're into. Like, for me, example, sometimes I have people that when I tell them I'm into God, I believe in God, I'm big on God, they fight with what he put in the Bible. They don't believe certain things, or they get offended real easily. They say, well, I don't agree with that, believe that. Now, how do I respond to that? I be quiet on purpose, because my thing is, that's not my place to get you to believe what God said. God is God. And in my world, once God speaks, I don't debate with a perfect being who created me. That would be stupidity on my behalf. And that means I need healing and deliverance, and I need to let God open my eyes to see and my ears to hear what he is saying, even to me. So what I encourage you with is, I never choose to get offended when someone tells me they don't believe the information I got from God, or they don't believe what's in the Bible. A lot of times, sometimes I get people that study so much things. They've been into witchcraft. They've been into astrology. They read the Quran. They read this, the Mormon, you name it. And God has shown me those are demons. They have a portal. They've opened up portals to demons in their life. And those demons is what's causing them to start to rebel against the Bible and what God said. So they pick pieces of God in the Bible that they agree with, but there's the majority of what God said they don't agree with. And so they don't agree with it because what they've studied that goes against God is causing them to have a spirit of rebellion in their life against God. And they don't even see and notice that, but I can see it spiritually and discern it because of what I've been born with, the gifts I've been born with. I just don't say anything, because Jesus said, with love and kindness do I draw thee. So for me, in my world, what I've learned from God is, when you choose to get anchored in God, if you're going to choose to go with the one who sent his only begotten son, you have so many people, adults, who open themselves up wide open to other beliefs, other studies, other things, other doctrines. And it causes them, they open up a door to a strong man called pride and rebellion, where it begins to cause them and drive them to fight against the truth of what God said, because they're reading the deceptions of what humans say. They're reading the doctrines of what man says, who's imperfect, who's not anchored in God. And so they get so wrapped up and entangled in that they're functioning worse than the Smiths entanglement. So what I do is, when one thing I want to share with you is, never get offended or try to enforce what you believe on anyone else. Never get offended when someone says they disagree with your beliefs or your conviction concerning God, the Bible, the Holy Spirit, godly wisdom, understanding. You just say, okay. And you discern and listen to God, what to put this person in your life, how close to get to them, or how far to get away from them, or just block and delete altogether, or just bond with them on the level they're at if they are willing to with you as well. But you never get offended by someone disagreeing by the truth of what God says, because God said, let him be the truth and every man a lie. Too many people open themselves up to so many demonic things, looking for knowledge about the truth about God, about this perfect being, and they go the wrong way about it. They lean to their own understanding, which God is against, because God said, lean not to your own understanding and acknowledge him, and he will direct your path, even concerning getting to know and understand certain things about him. But what they do is, these type of people lead to their own understanding, and they get caught up into demonic realms, and the enemy, Satan, begins to be able to easily deceive them to thinking that what they study, all these books, all these different doctrines, spirituality, you name it, witchcraft, voodoo, hexes, all these spells, astrology, you name it, they begin to become deceived where evil is good and the Bible is bad. and this is the truth, but what God says is a lie. But that's so demonic. And they open up portals to demons that's in their life that they don't even see it, and they can't even tell. But someone who's anchored in God, who may be God's prophet or prophetic, can see it spiritually that this person has a portal of demons, because they open up a portal through the books and the doctrines, astrology, witchcraft, sorcery, divination that they enter into, and they may not think so. They think they just know everything, and God is saying they don't have a clue. They so demonically possessed under the influence of demons that they think what God say is a lie, and the doctrines and stuff they studied and the witchcraft they've been into is the truth. That's what Satan wanted all along, was to pervert you by getting you to lean to your own understanding. Because God said, my children obey me. Okay, he said, my sheep know my voice, and the strangers they won't hearken to. Witchcraft they won't hearken to. Demonic doctrines, demonic teachings, demonic books they won't hearken to. Ouija board they won't hearken to. Astrology they won't hearken to. Pride they won't hearken to. Rebellion against me, capital God, they won't hearken to. So that's what I want to share with you right quick. Is it's a suggestion. Start practicing that when you have meaningful conversations with someone, deep conversations where you're just talking about biblical stuff or anything in life that you're into, if they don't agree with it, it's okay to agree to disagree maturely, respectfully, with love as the root, source, and foundation, and figure out and discern where you need to put each other at in each other's life. Because sometimes you do need to walk away from an individual. Some people you need to stay a distance from. Some people you need to be all the way up the street away from them. Some people you just need to be put them in another country in your life. And some people you just need to block and delete. Don't say nothing anymore. Some people need to be in your life because God did send them. And some people don't need to be in your life at all because Satan sent them. So it's okay to, and when somebody disagrees or says they're into another belief concerning, opposite of God, if they're into other stuff, you can just respectfully ask them, how did you get into that? And where do you get your knowledge from? Listen to what they're saying, because it's going to tell you who's their father. Because people can only have one father. Either it's God, they're a son of God, or they're a son of Satan. That's it. No, they can't do both. This is not a threesome. It's not a menage a trois with these kingdoms. Either they're a son of God or a son of Satan. That's it. So what I do is I dig into people. I ask them how they got this way. That's important for you. And where did they get this information from? And that, if you ask God to open your eyes when you talk to people, you're going to see if what they're into is of God or Satan. It's not both. It's one or the other. So that's what I want to share with you in my world here, Gabrielle, is when you have someone who don't agree with what you're into, or you may not agree with what they're into, just ask questions to understand the person, understand where they're coming from and how they got that way, because love considers. Love does not enforce. It doesn't try to convert anyone. It doesn't begin to say heaven or hell. It's not religious with anyone. Love just is. Meaning when someone doesn't agree with what you believe about God, or they try to say they don't agree with that, they disagree with it, and they get real offensive or very emotional about it, let them stay that way. But you keep the perfect peace of God and his everlasting joy. And you say, okay, that's fine. But you still stand on what God said. Because God is the truth. Everything else is a lie and going to fall. God is not ever going to fall. He's not. He's the truth. So if you have any questions for me, respectfully, feel free, privately or publicly. I welcome it all in love. And I don't mind answering your questions. Okay. Let's see. So that's what I want to share with you. Stop allowing or choosing to get offended or take to heart when someone don't agree with what you're into, and watch your thoughts towards them, because God may also be trying to teach you something that you don't have a clue. You may be the one God trying to open your eyes while you looking at them with a hateful demeanor and looking at them being offended. God may trying to teach you and get your attention that you're going in the wrong direction, that you've been studying the wrong things. So before you choose to get offended by somebody saying, no, I don't agree with that, or that, I'm not into that, or this is what I believe, ask God, is what they're saying the truth? And ask God, is there something he's trying to get your attention on that you really don't have a clue? You've been studying or opening yourself up to the wrong things, and it could be demonic things. And you need to go through a deliverance of the demons you open up portals to by studying all that stuff that God didn't tell you to do. So with that being said, that's what I want to share with you. Choose to be mature about things, because Jesus said, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. This keeps out arguments. It keeps out demonic arguments, demonic debates, demonic going back and forth. What you want to do is, when you're having conversations, ask questions to understand and comprehend the person, where they get their information from, how did they get to this point, and understand it, take it in mentally, and say, okay. And it tells you how to flow with that person where they're at. Now, they have a choice to make too. They should choose to do the same thing. But again, don't expect people to do the right thing, because most adults are not choosing to be mature or let God work on them. So most of the times you won't get that back in return. Sometimes they're going to get offended. They may even put their mouth on you and make a video about it on social media without mentioning your name and put it in their stories or whatever. It's okay. God said, guard your heart. Don't expect people to function in maturity and consider what you're saying in return. That's not how it goes in life. So that's my encouragement to you. Until next time, I'm Gabrielle. If you have any questions or comments or whatever you want to ask me privately or publicly, feel free. In love, that's what I do everything in, by choice, because love is the most dangerous weapon in the world. If you don't have love and you don't let God work on you to become and be love and restore love back within you through his love on you, you're just a sounding symbol. You're just existing. Till next time.